Afternoon garage. So we took a couple weeks and took a break for this engine. I kind of want to get back on this. I had to take a break, of course, because, well, there was lots of things to take care of as far as to get this thing together. Remember, we had that #1 cylinder, had all kinds of crap in it, so I had to figure out whether any of those parts were usable, had to take some deck measurements and that kind of thing, and ran across a whole bunch of problems that, well, hopefully by the end of this episode will be resolved. So I got the heads all cleaned up, kind of cylinders kind of assembled here, and let's go back to the bench and I'll show you what happened with #1. Alright, now we're going to talk about that #1 cylinder. So this is cylinder #1. And the head gasket was actually kind of popped out laying on the cylinder like that. And of course, you remember all of the debris that was down in this #1 piston area. Well, I cleaned it up. And it really doesn't look that bad. The ring lands look pretty good. They're not too bad. Cylinder fits pretty good. I did take a bore measuring tool and kind of see if it was how out of round it was, and it really wasn't that bad. But what I've got here is, boy, it really damaged the aluminum here where, well, I think what happened is the cylinder head gasket kind of went out like that, and then this was tightened quite a few different times, and well, it caused a lot of damage. So I don't really think I'm going to be able to get this fixed. I took it to a machine shop and the guy said, I can make it better, but it's probably not going to seal and probably not going to look right. So, well, guess I'll order another one.
3 days later.
Alright, that was quick. So I got this in, well, really no time at all. It was sent insured, so of course I had to pay, well, $40 or $50 insurance. But, wow, well, let's look what we got. So it looks like it's in an original Molly box here. And, well, let's take it out and check it out. So really kind of what I wanted to get was I wanted to get something that was really close to what was in here. I know that there are a couple different variables, one of them being the piston or the cylinder height here is different on some of these from one to the next. And there's actually, I was told, a little triangle here with a number in it. And then what that'll do is it'll give you the height from here to there. So this is #6. So what I did was I told the guy, yeah, need #6. So here it is, a 90mm piston and cylinder. Wow, the rings are included and everything. Everything looks pretty good here. Skirts don't look that bad. Let's check out this cylinder here. First of all, boy, there's a lot of green grease down here. I don't know, it's definitely like wheel bearing grease. It's just all over the thing. Not really quite sure why that would be. Anyway, let's check out everything else. Where it seats looks pretty good. This looks pretty good here. There's no fins broken off. And let's check out the cylinder here, the sealing surface, which was the problem on my other one. And, uh-oh. It kind of looks like the same damage that I have with this one here. And in fact, it's in the same spot. So there's a cylinder head gasket in here. Let's get out this gasket, take it out, and, well, compare the two under a microscope. And that's how the cylinder head gasket's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be broken like that one. But, wow, you can see this it's had the same kind of damage as the other one, but it kind of looks like somebody made some kind of an attempt to repair it. I know I asked my machine shop if he could do this, and he said he would do something kind of like this, but you can kind of see around the corner here that, well, that's not going to seal, and this isn't flat either. This is a terrible repair, and it's got me all greasy. So I really don't think I'm going to use this. Now this was, I don't know, close to $500. Think I better order a new one.
Much later.
Alright, there you have it. 90mm cylinder and piston, well, for the 2.7. So let's take it out. It's supposed to be brand new here. And then you get new clips for the wristband. Wow, look at that. So this is a brand new cylinder with the same part number, hopefully. It says 90ZN2. So that's what the other one says. And man, look at that nice machine surface right in there. And of course, it doesn't have the same problem that my other ones did in this area. And boy, that looks really good. And also another thing is I can see that in pushing this piston down, well, it also includes the rings. And, well, they're pre-installed. You can see down here where the deck goes. Looks really good. And the most important thing to know is, well, your height. So from here to there. And I'm really curious because I didn't give them any specifications on this at all as I did from that used part. So, well, let's check it out. See what the measurement is from the sealing surface to where it contacts the block here. Alright, this is the one that came out of the car, so, well, let's take a measurement on this. 85.27 millimeters, 85.4 millimeters, 85.43 millimeters, so it's about 85.4 to 85.5 millimeters. Now we'll check out the one that he sent me. 85.40. So yeah, the part he did send me was of course the same height. But now let's check this new part. This is the one I'm afraid of. $85.39, 85.37, 85.42. So it would appear the brand new part is within, well, it's very, very close. 0.02 millimeter of the original here. And boy, you know, the difference here isn't really that much at all. As a matter of fact, it's really kind of a shame that I wasted all my time buying this because, well, this is a brand new part and I can bolt this right up just as is. Alright, looking at these buckets here. Looks like they have a crosshatch in there. Never really seen that before on any 911. These are nickel, so these would be nickel coated, I would imagine. They have a crosshatch, so it's like about a 60-degree crosshatch. You can see there's scratches going that way, scratches going that way. So I think I will run it across my deglazer. And that'll be good for seating those rings. I know that everybody says don't do that, but this is what I've been trained to do, so that's exactly what I'm going to do with these things. And we'll just put a little scuff on them, and hopefully those rings will see a little bit better. That looks pretty good. You got about 60 degrees right there. Yeah, just going to scuff them just a little bit. That should be about enough. I'll clean them up with some soapy water and get all the any dirt out of there and oil them up. Put the pistons back in. Looks pretty good. All right, let's keep on talking about cylinder number one because this was had that kind of crazy damage up here, and you know this is the head for that, and this was all dirty, and I kind of sent this out to machine shop. They put a new seat in it, and then actually were able to grind the valve and get it to seal again. And of course, you know, that adjusted the valve height, but he said it was identical to how it was when I brought it to him. You can see they did a pretty good job of cleaning it up here, just a little bit of dirt here, and the seating surfaces look pretty good. I think what happened is this thing just sat in here and it rocked quite a bit. You can see it's not fitting flat there. And so what I did was I kind of took a tool like this, which is probably not really recommended. It has kind of a Scotch-Brite thing on it. It's a rotary tool, and you fire it up and you can kind of get things a little bit flat. But when I did that, well, it kind of got to where it was doing that. So let's put the new cylinder on, and I was kind of thinking this would kind of solve the problem here. And sure enough, that's not good either. So I think even though I did get a new valve seat put in here and everything done, I think that was a lot of wasted money, and I'm probably just going to have to just get a new head. There's a part number here, and here's a date. This says 6 of 1973, so that'd have been about right. Here's your part number right here, 911-104-345-OR. So what I want to do is get one of these off the internet. Get one that maybe needs a little work or something like that, maybe just a little clean. I'm not really into too much of anything else, but I really kind of want to watch that date code and make sure that I get something that's pretty close, you know, not only to keep this engine kind of original, but make sure this thing's going to fit by the time I get done. But just what I understand, that's not going to work very well. Let's find a new one of these.
2 weeks later.
Alright, that's it. So it took me a long time to clean this up, and I'll go over that in a few minutes. So it's in pretty good shape. I kind of looked at the date code here. It's a little bit different. As far as the markings, it says 1973, and I think that there's some dots here that mean something. So, you know, it could be pretty close. And of course, 911-104-345-OR. It's the same if I measured the valve sizes, that's the same. It cleaned up really well. It didn't have any damage up here, which kind of happens sometimes when your gasket scraping. And the most important thing is, boom, that's flat. So this is great. So this is going to definitely go together. You know, of course, there is a gasket that goes in here that kind of has a little spring to it, but nothing would have taken up too much. You know, you pretty want this to be machined really flat, and then now all we have to do is kind of worry about the bucket height there on the case, and oh, we'll be all set. But this is pretty good. Hey, I'll tell you what, this took me a long time to clean up, and well, let's go over that. This one's done. All right, I'm kind of rounding the bend on the the cylinder head and cylinder cleanup. You can see how bad this is here. Boy, it's in bad shape. A lot of carbon buildup in the combustion area here. See, that's kind of chipping off. And then, of course, the sealing surface is really bad. They've got this sealant just all over the damn place. So I think the thing to do is, well, we'll have to pull the valves out and then kind of work on cleaning it up from there. Also, another thing is here is this is really heavily corroded. You can see how much oil is just caked and grease that's caked up in there. Yeah, this is pretty much the worst head that I've seen as far as on this project or anything else I've worked on. And, well, let's get busy taking these valves out, and then I'll have to soak it some super clean, try to get this off, and, well, not make too much of a job out of it. I've done a few of these, and, well, they take about 2.5 hours a piece. And there's really no way to shortcut that. What a mess. Get the valves out. got kind of expensive buying all that stuff that I'm not going to even use. You know, taking that thing to the machine shop, he probably charged me $150 or something like that, and you know, I put some money into it myself, and in the end I just should have got a new head, because I think what happened is this thing just started rocking, and it kind of destroyed that seating surface on there. Anyway, that was good. We were able to fix that, able to get a new cylinder, and of course now you can see they're all cleaned, and boy, what a mess that is, and it's really hard to clean that stuff up, that tar. Almost just kind of want to sit that in there, maybe even preheat it with 140-degree water like I did, and then just put that super clean on there and just come back later. You don't want that stuff sitting on aluminum and maybe magnesium for too long, because I know it's a little bit corrosive and it changes the structure of it a little bit. So with super clean, definitely want to watch it when it's done doing its degreasing thing, get it off of there. These heads cleaned up really well. So here we are finally. I'm at the point of kind of engine assembly, and I'm having trouble with, you know, deck height measurements and that kind of thing. One thing I never did is I never actually sent the block out to have the spigots get planed or anything like that. And I'm kind of learning that the magnesium kind of moves a little bit, so I'll have to take care of that, but that'll be next time. And hey, if you got anything out of this, you know, give me a like and subscribe if you haven't. This is getting interesting.